Our next speaker has been head of planning at a full fibre broadband provider since 2020, leading strategic planning, survey and design, GIS, and wayleave. With 13 years of experience in the telecommunications sector, he has worked across major network infrastructure and telecoms projects in the UK, Ireland, USA, and the Caribbean. Please welcome to the stage Cade Wilkinson from Fibrus and Fibre Optics.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Kira said, my name is Cade Wilkinson. I'm the head of planning for Fibrus and Fibre Optics, and I'm here today to tell a story about how we, as a very young company, just 6 years ago, made the decision to leverage ArcGIS and its opportunities and the cost and the benefits, and also the challenges that has presented to us along the way. Okay. Fibrus is, like I mentioned, a large-scale telecoms operator across the north of Ireland in the United Kingdom. It's broken down into three main companies. So you have Fibrus Broadband, which is the internet service provider. Hyperfast Networks are the owner-operator of the network. And then where myself and my team sit are within Fibre Optics. We're responsible for all design, GIS, build, and maintenance of the entire network. Okay? So like I mentioned, we are a large-scale telecoms operator, but back in 2020, we were not. We were a startup company, okay? And we had about 10,000 homes that we were focused on primarily in across a few towns, and we did all of that off the back of paper maps, right? It worked okay for the scale at which we were building at that point in time, but we had bid quite ambitiously on a project called Project Stratum, which covers the entirety of the north of Ireland. And I think to everyone's surprise in our wider business, we won that project in about September, October of 2020, and we had a real life problem on our hands. How are we going to manage a design, a build, of this scale by producing a design in a GIS platform, printing off a paper map, handing it over to the build team for them to return any myriad of as-built information back to us to then redigitize back into a GIS platform. It simply was not sustainable for the size of the project that we were operating on. As a matter of fact, we did a bit of math using just a calculator and no use of AI. If we were to scale the entirety of the north of Ireland at a 1 to 1250 scale, and you printed all of those off on an A3 pages, it would be 145,000 pages tall. It would weigh as much as my car, and it would be as tall from floor to ceiling here in the round room, okay? That is just producing each map one time. We all know that that's never the case. You print one out for the cabling team, the civils gangs, the splicers, they all get a map, you get a map, you get a map, right? It's just compounding upon itself, and it just paints the picture that this was not sustainable for the level of growth and the speed at which we had to deploy this network, okay? So how do you manage a network of 227,000 kilometers of network cable across the entirety of the north of Ireland? The easy answer is we're not producing paper maps, okay? We had to bring all of our build contractors in to a room very early on in the process and say, guys, we're not producing paper maps for you, okay? We are going to get everyone trained up on ArcGIS. Everyone gets a tablet, a smartphone, and we are going to manage this entire build on ArcGIS, okay? Now, that did not make some of the build contractors very happy for obvious reasons. And like Paul was alluding to and the panel was alluding to, these guys out in the build ground, they like their paper maps. They like to go out, dig their holes where they're being told to do. They don't, we've heard it all in terms of these guys don't hardly know how to use phones. So we made the decision from day one of Project Stratum that we were going to operate the entire thing on ArcGIS and see how it goes, right? So all of our survey information was mandated that it gets populated directly into ArcGIS. We're a massive user of the OpenReach PIA product across the UK. We're required to submit 9 photos of every pole that we use over to OpenReach. My personal favorite is missing inventory, where you're required to take a picture of a pole that OpenReach or a duct that OpenReach does not know exists, and you return them the photographs, and they say, thank you very much, you may now start paying me rent on that. It's a brilliant business model, really. We are doing all of our planning and build in ArcGIS. Everything goes into a particular area in a planned state, and it's on the build contractor to status that over to built. in more recent months, we're doing a lot more infill work where you're working off the back of something that is actively being built as a part of a phase 1 deployment, and we're coming back on round 2 to rebuild. So we've had to do some clever things with symbology to be able to show you're building on a live network, but here is what you need to focus on. It's been quite complex. And what's really been able for us to be able to say that we're keeping all of our maps fully up to date is the design change, deferred from estimate, a DFE layer, and a polygon that we've added onto the map, okay? It's our communication channel from our build team where they are issued a map, they have to go build that, they need to make a change for whatever reason. They draft that polygon and it's communicated back to the planning team in the office to physically make the design change for them, right? There's no more waiting around to be reissued a new build pack. The guys are able to, if they need to make a change, they can make the change right there on the ground, filter it to the planning team, and then they see the live updated information there for them to be able to build, directly tied to our rate card as well, so we're able to see what costs we're actually incurring associated with that. And then lastly is all of our as-built photographs sitting directly on ArcGIS. We actually looked at a number of different options about storing them on SharePoint, putting them anywhere else other than on ArcGIS, but we really had to make the case that it made perfect sense for us to maintain all of that directly in ArcGIS. The geospatial assignment of every photograph to a particular closure or pole, it does a lot of work for us in terms of our PIA as-built closures as well. So, what's next? Yes, okay, so we had, like I said, this idea of one source of truth for all of our information going into ArcGIS, this did not happen overnight, right? It did take, honestly, about 2 years for us to get all of our design team, all of our build team, and everyone across both Fibrus and fiber optics to sign up to this in terms of it being our single source of truth. We have gotten to the stage where all of our plant quantities are signed off by our finance team before we progress into build. They're referencing ArcGIS on a daily basis and approving designs. We have all of the build program tracking being fed out of ArcGIS directly through FME into the less inclined folks that still prefer their Excel trackers. In a previous world, there was like a project manager's worst day. It was always on a Friday or particularly at the end of the month where they're calling up all the various contractors. How many poles did you build today? How much meters of duct did you build so they can update the reports for the senior management? All of that is live information coming directly out of ArcGIS. You get all of the live and time-stamped information directly within the photographs and who built what when, sitting on the maps. All of our QS and reporting comes directly out of ArcGIS, which has been absolutely massive in terms of removing the ambiguity about a contractor saying they built 10 poles yesterday when the map is only saying that they built 8. It puts the onus onto the contractor to keep the map fully up to date and keep all of that information flowing. And then ultimately it's led to all of our contractors and all of our build partners being paid on time off the back of what's on ArcGIS, okay? So what does this mean in terms of where are we going in the future? We have just recently partnered with a company called GlidePath who has filled a massive business hole that we had before we brought them on. GlidePath is basically our workflow allocation. We have developed a push and pull through GlidePath that's directly into one network, so the guys on the ground are able to raise permits directly on the ground, and that goes directly into one network where previously they would have to do their site setup, take all their photographs, submit it to the office, place the phone call for the office to then raise the permit with the local authority. All of that is more or less fed directly from the guys on the ground. GlidePath has set up a lot of our deliverable automations in terms of single line diagrams, fiber allocation sheets, and it's where all of our health and safety information is currently sitting as well. So the crews on the ground are referencing GlidePath for everything that they are not populating statuses for directly in ArcGIS. We have built a number of different FME workflows that are incredibly beneficial to us. The first one's all of the third-party utility data, compiling all of that from various third-party data sharing agreements. My colleague Ryan Garcia has developed what he refers to as Fibrus scope to be able to pull all of that utility stat information in one way, whereas previously you would have been referencing several different maps for whatever utility provider you needed to go find. We have OpenReach data pulling directly out of OpenReach's portal on a weekly basis into ArcGIS and flagging any changes, because again, we're using 75% of our network on the OpenReach network. And then these last two are two FME workflows that we've had to develop just recently in relation to connecting our CRM system into ArcGIS, so we're able to see where all of our live customers actually sit. It took a massive storm like Storm Owen back in 2025 for us to be able to get this development in place, where previously, before Storm Owen, there would have been an outage, for example, at one church court and two church court. Those were logged as two separate fault instances and issued out to two separate maintenance contractors, when in reality now you're able to see where the common faults are along the network and tie them back in, which leads on to the next set of developments that we're making in relation with VAVI, which is able to place a geographic point directly on a map for where a fault actually takes place, okay? So they're installing reflectors across our entire network. So if a customer goes down between their house and the POP, which could be 20 kilometers in length separated from one another, it will say there is a fault 4 kilometers from this house, and it traces the network back to exactly where that fault is taking place. And then the last is our fiber allocation sheets, which are these pesky fiber allocation sheets, are the last piece of information to get into ArcGIS. We're working through this at the minute in association with GlidePath as well, to be able to confidently say all of our records, both physical and logical, sit within ArcGIS, okay? So all of this taken into consideration, this is, it's been a hell of a road. It's been really fun to be kind of on this journey with myself and my colleagues and everyone across the business. Our growth over the past several years, again, starting off in 2020 and growing at this rate, would not have been, and I've got the full business backing when I say this, possible without the use of ArcGIS and the benefits that it has brought to our company. There's no way we would have built 27,000 kilometers of cable, past 470,000 homes, or made premise connections to 150,000 homes without the use of ArcGIS. So I want to thank Ryan Garcia and Emmanuel Greco for leading this charge on both the Fibrus and the fiber optic side. I want to thank everyone at Esri for allowing me to speak here today, and I want to thank our senior management team for having an open mind very early on in the process, allowing us to use ArcGIS. So thank you very much.